Hey, Lorianne. Wow, good to see you. Been a while. And Hanuman, Brian, happy to see you over there. Good to have you here. Megan, goodness gracious, good to see you too. Welcome everybody. As you keep popping in, I'm just gonna keep. And I know Jim Riley popped in, an old high school friend. It's been a long, long time since I've seen you. How's your family, Jim? What are you doing down there in Garden City, if that's where you are still? Um, and I think I saw somebody else pop in. You may have to, uh, I had to stop the video and start again. So you may have to log back in again for some of you that aren't popping in right now. Peter Allen, Reverend Peter Allen. Good to have you here. Welcome. It's been a bit of a change for you, I guess, in some ways. Can't do business as usual, I suppose. How's Tracy and how your boys? Um, Man, yeah, we need to connect again. We will. Um, Good. Hey, met Jane. I'm not. I'm sorry. James's um, wife in the dentist's office here locally. That was kind of fun. Anyway, I'm sure you heard all about that. Everybody well? Megan, how are your girls? Man, goes back. Oh, you're going to Maine, Peter. Cool. Yeah, I suppose that's a safe place to be. Shanti Mission has joined us. Good to see you, Susan. Good to have you here. So we've got about 10 minutes. I'm just gonna kind of hang out here and wait for people to pop in. Um, and we'll kind of keep going. I did this last night around this time for the first time, and there were, a pile of people who jumped in from all over my past. Everybody from a nursery school um, friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a long time in high school, to college buddies, to people from my church, to people from um, all walks really of my life, and it was really kind of a fun experience to all gather together in prayer, and really enjoyed that, and it was a very meaningful time for me. Although I was a little stiff, I was very stiff doing this for the first time, and couldn't quite figure out all the mechanics of FaceTime. And I was a little nervous about praying for all you guys because normally I would do it in front of a group of people, like in a public setting. Somehow it's a little different when you're on an electronic, medium here. But Michael Harden, Lobster Mike, welcome. Good to have you here, buddy. You look like a mad scientist. Thanks a lot. Well, you made me laugh. There you go. What? Because I have growth for like the last week? Yeah, I'm thinking since I'm not outside very much, I can just kind of get away with it. I don't have to, really be seen in public. Um, Good to have you here, man. How things down your way? How's Valerie? And how your children, your girls? They doing well down there in Norwalk? And yeah, love you too. Really good to have you here. And tell everybody I said hello down there. And tell Steve I've been thinking of all of you guys down there. I'm relatively sure that you've had to close your operations down like the rest of us. So I'm thinking of you and praying for you, and I love you, and I love the relative team that we're connected to down in Westport. And Westport's at ground zero right now. So thinking about thinking about everybody in this sort of new world. Um, and we got a ways to go here. So we got a bunch of people on the line from all walks of my life. Good to have everybody here. Yeah, and it's kind of a weird time, as many of us know. All adjusting a little differently to what's happening in front of us. Michael Harden. Yeah, you might know him, Peter. You might. I'm not sure. Hey, Jill. Good to have you here. How's your family? And see a horse. I love horses. Many of you may not know that part of my massage therapy. part of my massage therapy work has also included equine massage therapy. So and that's been a very interesting experience too, because you think, well, you can get into a barn and work on a horse, but of course the barn owners don't really want you around either. So we've had to make adjustments. So what am I doing? I'm doing horse anatomy. I'm learning all about horse anatomy again, and it's um, interesting time to look at all those Pete's, all those parts. Michael Harden, you know Pete Allen. Of course you might know Pete Allen. It's a strange world how we all know each other. Trisha, welcome. Boy, Trish, it's been a long time. I'm trying to remember the connection, but I think it had to do with my work with network marketing with you. And maybe the connection there is MJ Durkin. I'm not sure. Oh, that's right. You were in Mexico with Pete. Ah, there's the connection. How cool is that? Wow. All right. So there's all kinds of ways that we're connecting here. Oh, that's so cool. So Pete Allen, when you come down here next to visit your brother James, um, you need to go to Lobster Craft in Norwalk um, and visit their store, which is in the old train station, and have one of their amazing lobster sandwiches. I I've fallen prey to enjoying those delicacies, and yeah, so go do that when you get down here. When are you coming down here next, by the way? Need to connect again. So anyway, back to Trisha. I think we connected through um, some of our network marketing paths. That's what I'm guessing. Anyway, I guess you guys have a common theme. I can only imagine. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll let you two catch up later, and you can reminisce from your old stories of um, serving the poor in Mexico, which I know was a big part of Peter's there for a while. Um, all right. So just to kind of give everybody a sort of a rough sense of what we're doing here, I sort of had the inspiration a couple of nights ago to pick up my past a bit, but also embrace the future and take advantage of my spiritual life, which has really never ended, and go live a little bit and help people through some of this tough time and help, quite honestly, help myself as well because we're experiencing some very different times. And I've been fortunate to be a part of a lot of groups and a lot of men and women who find different ways of finding God in their lives, and it's been an inspiration for me. And this is a really different medium. You know, if I was still in the church, I'd be like probably freaking out because it's down, and that means everything stops, and we're supposed to be a communal gathering of people, and can't even do that, at least not safely. And so it's a real adjustment. But at the same time, so I'm thinking of my friend Peter Allen, who's up in Massachusetts with a congregation. I don't have a congregation right now, but in a sense, what we're trying to do here is embrace God's spirit through this medium called social media. And I think we can. All right, Peter. See you later. Thanks for joining in. Hey, Marie, great to have you back. Marie and I go back to high school together, and we reconnected. Marie and I did with her business up this way when she lived up here in Connecticut, and now she's down in South Carolina. I was corrected yesterday, so she's down in South Carolina. So Marie, great to have you here. Hope your family is well down there and adjusting to life in South Carolina. I can only imagine that it's kind of really stepping into spring down that way. And great to have you. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the business that you have, which is already electronic. So I'm sure that you're doing just fine. And it's an exciting time to be in the world that you're in. Chris McGarry. Wow, now we're going back. I'm going back to like college days. Wow, how you doing, Chris? Christopher, how are you and your family? Great to have you here. Great to have you here, and I'm sure you're connected to all the Pika brothers down that way. I think you're down in Virginia still. I'm not sure by that, but hey, Deb, good to have you here. How's everything up your way? Everything fine up in Woodbury? Um, I know you'd rather be in South Carolina, and I know you don't really want to have any more snow, but guess what's coming on Monday, maybe? Sorry, had to throw that in. I love snow. I just gotta tell you, I love snow. Snow just whitens everything up. I just think it's really great. And this time of year, it doesn't last very long, so I enjoy that. Okay, guys, it's 7 o'clock. So I want to start. I want to be prompt. Once again, what we're going to be doing. Hey, Louise. No, Lois. Welcome, Lois. Hope you're well. I hope your family is well. So once again, we're gonna do a little. I wanted to share with you today a something that I got from my significant other that I think really helped to kind of crystallize this concept of where we are right now. And so if there is a theme, if the theme is what if, what if, and I'm borrowing this statement that came from a Christian tradition, which is my tradition, and I really think it touches on everything that we're going through today. So, hey, Jennifer, good to have you here. Welcome. I hope everybody down in Florida is good. All right, we're going to begin. So this comes from the Course of Miracles. I don't know if many of you are familiar with the Course of Miracles, but this is a person who sent out a shout to all of her followers, which I thought was really apropos. And then following this reading, we'll go into a little moment of silence, and then we'll go into a bit of a meditation. So we're living in a new reality for right now, which we all hope will end soon. Amongst all the fear and confusion, there's this, a different perspective. There's so much fear, and perhaps rightfully so, about COVID-19. And what if we subscribe to the philosophy that life is always working out for us, that there is an intelligence far greater than humans at work, that all is interconnected? What if? What if the virus is here to help us, to reset, to remember what is truly important, reconnecting with family and community, reducing travel so that the environment, the skies, the air, our lungs will get a break. Parts of China are seeing blue sky and clouds for the first time in forever, with the factories being shut down. Working from home rather than commuting to work means less population and more personal time. Reconnecting with family as there is more time at home. An invitation to turn inwards, a deep meditation rather than the usual extroverted going out to self-soothe. To connect with self, what is really important to me, to reset economically. The working poor, the lack of healthcare access for over 30 million in the United States, the need for paid sick leave. How hard does one need to work to be able to live, to have a life outside of work? And washing our hands. How did that become a new thing that we needed to remember? But yes, we did. The presence of grace for all. There's a shift underway in our society. What if it is one that is favorable to us? What if this virus is really an ally to our evolution? In our remembrance of what it means to be connected, humane, living a simpler life, to be less impactful, more kind to our environment, more loving of those around us. An offering from my heart this morning, offered as another perspective, another way of relating to this virus, this unfolding, this evolution. It was a time for change. We all knew that. And change has arrived. What if? What if? I found that to be very refreshing. I'm in a I'm in a state, as many of you know, where I kind of changed my career around. Some of you know me from various places in my past. Most recently, I became uh, um a massage therapist, really focusing on the wellness of other people and how they feel and how they connect with their spirit and their bodies. And my business was a year plus in the making, and it was just sort of beginning to kind of get going. And I was having a lot of regular customers, and poof, this virus came along and pretty much had to shut it all down. And so I'm feeling vulnerable. I'm feeling like what happened. I'm feeling like, all right, well, I got this, itch to kind of sort of let this virus get going so I can move back into what maybe my normal was. And maybe this is God's way of saying, yeah, well, you thought you were in charge, and I'm not, and none of us really are. So, here we are. What if? What if the virus is speaking to us in a way that, well, quite frankly, we wouldn't have accepted? If it had happened, you know, if it had happened willingly, would we have really paid attention to it? Probably not. And what is the it that I'm referring to? The need to sort of get out of ourselves, the need to slow down. I mean, this article I think puts it really well. So I'm going to just tell you that this is a new medium for me. I'm going to screw it up. I don't always know what I'm doing, and um, I've got this. But what I'm going to do consistently is offer this in this format. I'm going to come up with a theme, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and maybe throw in some personal anecdotes, and then we're going to go into a meditation experience and some silence. So it's about 7 minutes after the hour, and I want to make sure that we do that. So, welcome to all of you. Many of you have joined since, and I'm really happy that you're here. God, from all over the place. John Lavin, oh, welcome. It's been a long time. And a number of you from my past. So, folks, let's just center ourselves, get comfortable. I don't know where you're sitting in your lives, and we all have laptops or we have phones, but find a place to be comfortable, find a place to sit back, find a place to just be relaxed in your body. I always like to sit a little upright with my feet on the ground so that I'm connected energetically to the world around me, and feel God's presence and awareness from the ground up, as it were, and from the top down, so that I'm connected and grounded. Um, so try that, and then let's just find a moment to collect ourselves and experience a little bit of silence before we go into meditation. God comes in many forms. We see him or her or it, as it were, in lots of different traditions. He is Yahweh, he is Christ, he is energy, he is spirit. She could be Buddhist, she could be Hindu. She could come in many different forms through the earth, through Gaia. it doesn't really matter how we refer to God, really, in this meditation. Just find your own understanding of what that means and embrace it and know that you're not alone. We're asking God in our awareness to lift us up, to be the spiritual energy that guides us through these very difficult times of adversity. And it's such really such an I hate to say this, but it's such an opportunity. I actually don't hate to say it. I'm going to say it. It's an opportunity to set aside all the things that probably have kind of grounded us in very artificial and ways that are based on the materialistic and the kind of competitive nature that we live in this culture and around the world. So let's ask God to open our hearts and our minds and our souls to find the quiet within. So seek peace. Open up our hearts. If we try to think our way through this, we're going to be miserable. So God, take away that misery. Take away that temptation. Because as we say in some other ways, thinking things through isn't really a way to solve anything. We really have to let go. In all of our traditions, no matter what we believe, and no matter what kind of spiritual path we have, they're pretty much all guiding us to say that we're not in control of this. We're not in control of much. We're really asked to be passengers in this car called God and let him do the driving, or her do the driving, or it do the driving. And we all, I think, probably so we're in this place of letting go, and we're asking that higher power, that presence, to comfort us, to soothe us, to embrace us, and to be with us so that we can kind of carry on and embrace this beautiful message found in the passage that I read earlier about what if. What if God is actually asking us to step back? What if God is actually asking us to be patient? What if God is actually asking us to slow down when all we want to do is speed up? I know that. What if God is actually asking us to stop counting our money, counting our things, and encouraging us to be grateful for what we have? What if we were asked to go for a walk and recognize on a path that perhaps we've walked on tens of dozens or hundreds of times a tree that we never noticed before? What if we're asked to expand our awareness and to see things in a way that we never saw before? And, living our lives as we do, day by day, in and out, the same routines, the same cup of coffee, the same show that we watch, the same everything, the same drive to work, the same. In a way, this is a huge disruption that is inviting us to look at things differently. And there's some grace in that because it forces us to really step back and be grateful for what we have, whether it's loved ones in our lives that help us to see, whether we're able to share compassion and share emotion and share feelings that are buried way deep down, and because we live such busy lives, we never really access them in the first place. Until now. What if? What if God is working through this to temper our rough edges, to file them down, so that we can actually connect in a way that's different, in a way that's meaningful, in a way that's deep, and in many ways, in a way that is asking us always, every day, to be consciously connected to something way bigger than us that we don't always do because we're too busy doing what we do. What if? What if? What if? There's a simple grace in that. And when you think about it, our prayer lives and our spiritual lives are always asking us to be honest, to open up, to share, to engage, to reveal. There's so many words that are asking us to just open up our hearts and our minds and our souls. This is a soul journey. I mean, this is the great kind of equalizer, what's happening worldwide. I'm not dispute it. I can't even say that I like it, but boy, do we have to accept it. And this disease, this virus, this thing is dangerous, and I it does prompt fear. Let's just admit it, it does. But the only thing that conquers fear is the love that we have for ourselves and the love that we can share with other people, and the grace, and to step away from blaming each other and casting aspersions and all the rhetoric that we're hearing and all the nonsense that at the end of the day, what we're what we're asked to do, and what God, I think, is encouraging us to do, is to love ourselves and love those around us. And it's an old message. It's an old message. You can find it in every single religious document throughout the world. To love the fact that there's something bigger than us out there, and to love others as we love ourselves. It's a universal golden rule. And maybe that's what we're being asked to do. I don't know any other way of sort of breaking the habit of humanity, which, as we all know, and that piece of literature suggested. Maybe this is the thing that will help us come together in a more humane way. So what if? What if? God, I ask you to be with us, to ask these questions, to probe, to be gentle, to be patient and kind, to be open-hearted in a way that left to our own devices we may not do. And left to our own devices we may screw it up all the time. But we're given an opportunity, God. God with many faces, God with many, many, many loving ways and means to help us to see the grace in all of this. And maybe that energy that we're able to create within ourselves, and as we interact with others with the distance that we're asked to interact with, will allow us to be a more humane people, more aware of the opportunities in front of us. Yes, life is going to change. We know it. We are all in the cauldron of change right now, and we're being, moved around. And I always thought change was, Lord, I always thought change was a bad thing in some ways. I never saw it as growth. For the longest time, I never saw it as growth. And maybe that's what's happening here on the grand scale. We're all being asked to grow, Lord. So guide us, strengthen us, encourage us, and help us to be bigger people, smart people, wise, courageous, tenacious, yes, but people that recognize that there's way more going on than the surface here, and there's such a chance to spread goodness and kindness and love to those around us. I had well, I'm not going to stop. I was going to share an anecdote, but I'll I'll let that pass for the day. So we're near the end of our time. I wanted to thank you all for showing up tonight. We have opportunities throughout our days to connect, and you allowed me to be at least one of them, and I appreciate that. So I think what we're going to do, just so for those of you on the call, we're going to have a call tomorrow morning in lieu of light of the fact that most services are canceled. So I'll send out a note again, and we can do something similar. We're coming up with a different theme, and we'll continue to meditate and pray. Thanks very much for being with me tonight. Great to have you here, and blessings to all of you as you go through this challenging time. And be there for your families, many of whom I know. And thanks for coming here tonight. And we'll do this some more. Be well, and God bless.